Hello out there to all of my Twitter friends. So today's review is going to be on writing my first unit plan, which I did 2 weeks ago. We had an assignment where we had to take one of the units we were teaching during our student teaching internship in the spring, and we had to write out our unit plan for that particular time frame. So the unit that I did my unit plan on is part of an 8th grade Intro to Agriculture course where there's a unit about exploring careers in agriculture. So that is what I did this first unit plan on. So there are certain things that we as Penn State students have to have in our unit plans, such as the name of the unit, number of students, how long the unit is in weeks, how many class periods do you need to finish the unit, how long are each lesson plan, also unit rationale. Why is it important that students learn this material? If there's no reason for them to be learning it, then why are you teaching it? So unit rationale is one of those big ticket items in our unit plan. Also, your standards for the whole unit. This includes your PA core standards, such as math, writing, reading, and science, and also the AFNR, which is Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources standards. Additionally, we break that down farther into having the objectives for every lesson plan. And in mine, I wanted to go farther to make sure that I was planning far enough and ahead, trying to make sure that if I plan now and if I do well planning now, then when I student teach, it'll be simpler. So I actually made a table that broke down each lesson plan and the materials that I know right now that I'll need for that lesson. Now, obviously, as I go through actually writing those lesson plans, as I'm starting to work through those, I will get a better sense of what materials I need, whether I need to develop a worksheet or I need to make sure that that's the day that I have laptops, or maybe I need to make sure that I have my PowerPoint, something like that. Additionally, I had the goals that I want my students to be able to achieve, whether it's a skill or a concept, just overall goals that I want my students to achieve by the end of the unit. So what happened was I turned in my unit plan and they were peer reviewed by two other individuals in my cohort. And so then I had time to change some things and then resubmit it. So some of the things that I looked at changing was just making sure that I'm getting more specific in some of the objectives and even the goals of my unit plan, making sure that I'm not being too broad. Like, for example, I have some lessons on interview skills, and then we go into the FFA interview CDE. And so it would be one thing for me to just say, be able to conduct themselves professionally in an interview or something like that. But instead, get even more specific and be like, be able to communicate your best qualities and attributes to an employer. Something where it's a specific skill that gets just a little bit more precise than what I was doing. Also, I'm still playing around with some of the formats that I like and do not like of a unit plan. There's so many templates out there. So I'm trying to figure out which one I like the best, that I find most functional for myself. Additionally, what I went back through and kind of cleaned up was my expectations for the unit, my rationale, just really tailoring those to make it specific to the kids where I'm student teaching, because I think that would show an administration that there is a need in the community and this unit is helping meet that need. Or if it was another class that, let's say it's welding, maybe in that community there is a large demand for welders to go into the industry. So that was another thing that I wanted to make sure that I was getting more specific about why these students need to know this information. So those are just a couple of things that I took into consideration from the peer review feedback that I got before resubmitting my second unit plan. So if any of you teachers that are watching this, if you have anything that's a must-have in your unit plan, or if you found a template that you really like and think works really well for you, or if you just have some good advice on how to make a functional and high-quality unit plan, comment on my blog or on Twitter. I would love to hear from you. Thanks.